Britt Terry, and I am the new system sales rep for Red Falcon, and wanted to put this video together for those of you who are in need of an e-commerce platform and are looking for a solution to help you either move off of one of our other solutions like Britannia or work with another one of our ERPs like eAutomate. Or if you're just interested in an e-commerce solution that integrates with partner vendors and makes the solution from quote to invoice an easy process. So I wanted to take you through Red Falcon real quick and just kind of give you an idea of what the system is. What is Red Falcon? I've got this graphic up here that is showing essentially what the Red Falcon offering is. So it's not just a website. It's not just a back-end system. When you combine it with an ERP like eAutomate or QuickBooks in this case, it's a complete ERP front-end system to sell product out on the web, back-end system to manage all those orders, integration with partner vendors, and QuickBooks or eAutomate for accounting, analytics all throughout. That's really the Red Falcon offering. So as you can see with our graphics here, we have an integrated partner for credit card processing and ACH and Net1. Some of you may already be working with them. The e-commerce piece is a really important piece. Of course, that's how you get your product out to your customers and those that you're trying to win business from. So the e-commerce solution is robust and easy to use for your customers, has a ton of opportunities for self-service that you can provide your customers for things like approval levels and being able to tie spending back to a cost center or department, the ability to have favorites lists and things like that. So the e-commerce platform is very robust. There's two options that we have, and I'll talk about here in a minute: the custom product from our digital services product, or the template version, which is more of a template that you choose and manage on your own. I talked about some of the industry integrations. I'll show you here a graphic in a second that talks about those. Very important to the relationship with Red Falcon. We have several industry partners like SP Richards, Ascendant, Clover, Supplies Network, Educators Resource, and so on and so forth. The reason that's important is because we do integrate pretty heavily with them to be able to put up the item file of the product, to be able to send them POs, receive acknowledgement back, and wholesaler invoices. All of that flows through the Red Falcon system, which makes that process of integrating and communicating with those wholesalers extremely important. The next piece is the accounting piece. Red Falcon does not have a built-in accounting piece. It either uses QuickBooks, which most of our small dealers are using, small to mid-sized dealers. Others are using eAutomate. If you're a equipment dealer using eAutomate, Red Falcon can sit on top and allow you to have a Red Falcon website, but have it all connect to your eAutomate system. The data analytics, which are embedded, there's two types of analytics. You have embedded dashboards that I'll show in a minute, and we also have our Accelerate CRM and Analytics module that you'll get a part of with the Red Falcon subscription. For those of you that are doing local delivery and want to have the ability to track where your trucks are out on the road, what stops they've made, what stops they need to make, where they're at on the map, and being able to take signature right on their smartphone, Jump Track is the solution to be able to handle that for those that it applies. We also have some dealers that are looking for punch outs to work with larger customers like hospital systems or universities. A lot of those type of customers are looking for a punch out to be able to do the purchasing in their own business management system like an SAP or Oracle or Skyward or something like that. We have the ability to punch out with the Red Falcon system to their ERP, which allows for them to do their purchasing in their system and have it flow to your back end to fulfill. So that's a great way. A lot of our dealers are starting to embed themselves with their customers, is offering them punch outs. Before we leave the slideshow, I did want to show the integrated partners that I was just talking about. Here's a listing of some that we work with. These are a lot of the main ones we're working with. A lot of our dealers are selling something from either SP Richards or Ascendant. There's several ink and toner vendors that you can subscribe to. And this is all the beauty of this is we load the item file for you automatically. So some of them are going to Ascendant loads they send us a new item file every single day. All of these others mainly are every month, some are every quarter. But as often as we get an item file from these vendors, we're going to load that in for you. So you don't have to think about it or touch it or worry about it. The item file, the pictures, descriptions, and all the products are going to be on there exactly as they should and you expect. And then anytime those items are updated, we're going to get that new file and load that up for you. So that's a huge help in keeping up to date with these wholesale partners. The other way this is great is through the integration that we have in sending purchase orders and receiving acknowledgement back and receiving the wholesaler invoice through the Red Falcon system. So removes a lot of steps, removes a lot of errors, and allows you to do those next day shipping and so forth that you're looking to do. So the integration with these partners isn't necessarily required, but it's a huge benefit to use these partners. And I'll talk a little bit here in a minute on how you deal with items that are not from partner vendors, maybe a local vendor or another type of product that you want to sell on your website that you don't get from one of these wholesalers. You can certainly sell those items, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But first, I wanted to jump out to see some of our current customer websites, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing from a design standpoint of the system. So what I mentioned, we have two different options for the website. We have the digital services product, like we're seeing here. This is a custom site that you work with our design team. You work together with our team. You tell us the things that are important to you, the things that you want, even supply artwork if you want for us to use, or we can provide it for you. But we go out and build that custom site for you. It includes the URL masking and the SSL certificate, so that the URL will always stay what you want it to be. You can see there's custom headers. This is just one example. They've got some custom banners that flow through. They've got YouTube videos embedded here, a bunch of buttons and links that go off on the side here, some spotlight items, custom footer. So from a design standpoint, this is quite nice. From a customization standpoint of what they're wanting to portray their image out on the web. If I switch over here to Plankenhorn's, completely different look. This is a nice clean look where they've gone with some of these different headers. With our digital services product, you have the ability to do things like this, to have custom headers or categories, I guess I should say, of product that you want to make sure the customers see. You can see there's some banner ads that are flowing through. Some of these are pushed out by the wholesaler, others are created by the dealers, and our team builds those out and puts them out on the site. You can see they've got a couple of different categories that they're calling their sale items, their technology items. They've got some of their main categories out here to help you find and easily get to where you're wanting to go and find product. They're listing some of their manufacturers that they do a lot of work with, down to the custom footer and part of the some programs they're a part of. So again, completely different look, but it's around the Red Falcon framework, and that's what that digital services product is. It includes the URL masking, the custom design, and the all the different buttons and backgrounds and links, very custom to the dealer. And it's not just a one-time build; it's a ongoing product, essentially. So we're going to build it for the first time with the dealer's help of exactly what colors you want and images that you want and buttons and links. We work together to flush out the nice looking site for the first time. And then most dealers choose the plan that's a quarterly update. So every quarter throughout the year, you're able to make major changes. So buttons, backgrounds, images, changing out spotlight items, or maybe some of these items here, putting a different theme on. With Onyx, they have their background that they change. It looks like this is a Memorial Day version, and so forth. So those are the type of things that's an ongoing update. So it's not just build it and leave it. We want to continue to freshen the system and update that. So we'll update that quarterly or as often as you want. It just depends on the plan you choose. Here's another example. Again, completely different look. They've got some of these buttons where as you hover over it changes colors. They've got some custom banners and buttons that go to different places. So again, it's around the Red Falcon framework, but it's custom to the dealer. So this is our digital services product. In a second, I'm going to log into a template site and that'll allow us to do some shopping so that we can go through the flow of an order. But this is the most popular. Most dealers choose the digital services product simply because of the customability, the ability to differentiate yourself with other dealers. So that's the look and feel. We'll log in here in a second and go through an order so you can kind of see it in action. But I wanted to jump to the back to talk about Red Falcon. So I'm logged in as just a demo site here, but you'll see that I've got a dashboard that pops up. This is embedded into Red Falcon. You've got the executive dashboard and the sales dashboard. These two come with the system, and it's going to give you real-time, the statistics that you're looking for as a business owner of the health of your organization. So down here, you're going to see everything from how you're doing from an order standpoint, gross profit percentage, run rate, all of that kind of stuff that you're looking for to understand the health of your organization. And then you're able to get a ton of stats that help you see behaviors and trends and variances within your customer spending, and in this case you're looking at some key statistics that we're going to tell you, comparing time periods. In this case, we're comparing January to December, or prior year comparisons to sales, GP, and GP percentage. I'll be able to see that on a graph. As I scroll down, I'm going to see order summary analysis, the average web order size, the activity of the customer, who are the most active, who are the dormant customers, where do you need to spend your marketing dollars to bring back some of those customers. Here's down here at the bottom, you're looking at the different categories. It looks like we're doing well in furniture and technology, miscellaneous, and Jansan, but we're really struggling in all the other areas. And so this helps you see those trends to be able to spend your marketing dollars or your efforts from the sales team to be able to tackle those things that maybe you need to continue to put more money in advertising or pushing these products to your customers because they're doing so well, or maybe you need to shift and start to do some marketing on some of these other categories that will help drive more sales there. So this dashboard runs automatically, and it comes as part of the Red Falcon system. So when you log in, you'll be able to see these statistics, and if you're wanting to see them in a list instead of a graph, you can always make those changes, and then you can refresh it at any time. The other one is the sales dashboard, same kind of information, but specifically for the sales organization. So how are you doing the actual production versus your goals? Again, comparing sales trends over the year. Who are the top performing customers? Being able to flip that around and see who the worst performing customers are. How are orders coming in? Are they mainly coming in off the web, or are they coming in over the phone? You're able to track all of those orders as they come through the system, and really get a feel for what your sales team is doing, or just the sales trends in general of your business. So these come automatically, and you can view them at any time. They're embedded in the Red Falcon system. As far as navigating around, again, it's a web-based solution. So anywhere you have an internet connection and a device to see the system, you can get out to Red Falcon and do what you need to do. These little icons will pop up top if you've got something waiting for you. Depending on where you're at in the system, those will pop up, or you may have a list of them here on the main page. But if you don't have any pending orders, you don't have anything going on, then this bar will be clean, and you're up to date. In my case, and then demo site, I don't update anything too often, and I don't send orders through, so there's quite a few sitting there. But to navigate around the system, everything to do with the customer lies under customer management. Everything down to ship tos and cost centers and budgets and different things like that. That's where you'll build these down in the customer management, all the way down to the reports that are specific to the customers will all lie under customer management. Everything to do with pricing, again, lies under pricing management, even down to how you decide if you're going to charge shipping. There's several methods to do that. So that is all handled under the pricing management. So very easy to navigate and find things. Very simple to navigate. But if you're ever not sure where something's at, you can simply come and do a search with a search term, and the system will go try and find the closest thing that it can, and anything with that word in it, it's going to find it and bring it to your fingertips. So again, very simple to navigate and work around the system. Runs very fast. Again, it's any browser, you have the ability to get to Red Falcon and do what you need to do. So to get the system off the ground, you got to have customers in the system. So those of you coming from Britannia and other systems that you may have some customer data that we need to bring over, it's absolutely possible to do. We've got some templates that you can populate. As long as you can get the data out and onto those templates, we can programmatically push it into Red Falcon and populate those customer details in the system. However, because of Red Falcon is unique in what it does, you will touch most every customer. Every customer will belong to a consumer price group, and there's different things that you'll set up for each customer. So you'll still put in some work getting those customers built in. If you don't want to load items in or get them on a template, you can enter the customers in individually, one-on-one. You can just simply hit add, and it'll give you the screen to be able to type in all the information about a customer. Everything with the red star is required. So you're going to build everything from, what offering do they see? What products do they see? What price group are they assigned to? You can assign a salesperson to them. What wholesalers are you making available, and so on and so forth. So there's still plenty of decisions that you'll make about each customer, but if you do have data, we can push that in for you, or you can come in here and enter them manually, which a lot of people like to do because it gives you the ability to start fresh and have only clean data in the system. Okay, so that's how you get customers on the site. Either we're going to push through a data conversion, or you're going to enter them in manually. And now we get products on the site, which again, as we talked about with these vendors here, they're going to automatically be pushed. As often as we get an item file, you're going to see those items automatically flow into the Red Falcon system. If you want to sell something other than those wholesaler items, you absolutely can. You can either come and do import items with a spreadsheet. We've got a template, again, that you can use to push in if you've got a lot of items that you want to bring in. You can use the import utility to do that. Or if you've got a handful, you just want to, again, type them in manually. Here's the interface. Again, everything with a red star is required. So as long as you have those items, you can put anything up on the site. So again, if it's some local vendor you want to work with, or a vendor, maybe you have some sort of specialty item that you sell to your customers in your local area, or whatever the case may be, you want to put Costco or Walmart in as and sell some of their items. We don't have integration with them, but you absolutely can sell anything that you want. So as long as you've got the required items, so it's going to be, again, unit of measure and item number, description, price, your cost, sales copy, all of that kind of stuff that you'd want on a product, even down to multiple pictures, you're going to just load those up, and the system, it's just as usable and purchasable as any SP Richards or Ascendant item, but you would maintain the item file here instead of us for the partner vendor. So that's how you get an item in the system. Either you're going to do it manually by typing the items in, or you're going to come to the import utility, get the template, and load those unique items up to the system through that template. You just save it somewhere locally, go browse for the file where that's at, and import it in. It's that simple to get items out to the website. And again, you'll manage this item file versus the partner vendors we manage. So that's how you get items on the site. Now we got customers and items on the site. Let's go get the items priced. So every customer is going to belong to a consumer pricing group. And what this is essentially, it's the experience you want to create for a customer or group of customers. So you can have as many of these as you want, and I'm just going to go edit one so we can see it in action. I'll go edit this general pricing here. But again, this is the experience you're trying to create for a customer or group of customers. So anyone that belongs to this general pricing group will see these options. So do I show contracts items along with my regular items? Do I show list price along with my sale price? Do I show wholesaler alternatives? Do I show accessories? These decisions you'll make based on the experience you want to create for this group of customers, even down to how you prioritize pricing. Do you always choose the best price by wholesaler? Do you want to manually rank things? Maybe you white label some items from Ascendant or SP Richards, and you want to make sure those come to the top of the list. You absolutely can do that with the manually ranking process. If you're using our template version of the system, you can actually change what the layout looks like out on the site. So, we have a lot of dealers that might, want to co-brand their site with, school district or something like that. You could create a layout for the school district and have their logo and color scheme and your logo to kind of co-brand that and embed yourself in with that specific customer. There's things like that you can do that's kind of nice with the template version. If you go with the custom version, like we showed here with the Onyx and Plankenhorn, that will always be your custom look. But if you use the template site, you can change those and make them custom to the customer. Now down to all of the vendors that you're working with will be listed here. So in this case, I've got SP Richards and a few things here. If you were working with SP and Ascendant and Arlington and Clover and any of those, they'll all be listed here, even down to your local vendor. So like I said, Costco or ABC Supply or whatever, those will all be loaded here, and you can determine how you want to price things. So you can either do your cost plus a certain percentage. You can do start at list price and less a certain percentage. The SP Richards and Ascendants of the world have these different matrix that they make available to you, where they pre-price the products based on a certain result you're looking for. You can always load one of these matrices and have that be your pricing for that wholesaler. So you'll price every wholesaler how you want it to flow to the customer. But you can even break categories out. So for SP Richards, I'm breaking out furniture and specifically chairs. I can price those differently than everything else in the SP Richards catalog. So a lot of things that you can do to get creative on the pricing for your customers. You can do customer contracts. So that school district I talk about, let's say they give you their business, but they get special pricing on 15 or 20 items. And you agree to that price, then you can put together a custom contract that tags the item with the contract badge, but also anyone that is tied to this general pricing and also tied to that customer contract for those 15 or 20 items, they will only see those, and so they know they're buying the right thing. So you can control what the customer sees as far as pricing goes, what products they see, and even have custom contracts that are specific to a specific customer. So for anyone from that school district, when they log in, they'll see that contract and be able to pull items off of there knowing they're buying the right thing. Better example might be GSA or Ability One. That's more of a template contract where you're feeding multiple customers a similar or the same contract. So between customer contracts and template contracts, you really can get detailed on how you're putting pricing out to your customers. I talked about shipping. There's multiple ways if you wanted to charge shipping that you can do that. Based on UPS ability, minimum order amount, based on GP percentage, weight, and product breakdown. So that's where all of that will happen when it comes to pricing and how you price things and how what the offering looks like out on the website. So now that we've kind of got everything set up and built, we've got customers, we've got items, we've got everything priced, let's go do some shopping. So first of all, most dealers still get calls over the phone. They still get email orders. Some people still get faxes. Some of you might have retail locations. So quick order is meant for the phone, fax, and email orders. If you get somebody calling in an order, and you can simply come to the back-end system of Red Falcon, click on the quick order, figure out who the customer is that's calling and what they want to start ordering. So you got them on the phone and you start cranking away at the order. So who is it? What ship to they want it to go to or be delivered to? Is it tied to a certain budget? Is there coupon codes? So on and so forth. And then you just simply start cranking in the order. So if I can remember the part number here, they've changed it on me, but they need 12 Sharpies, and it's going to default to your first call vendor, but you can always do a search and find other options for that exact item. We're going to feed to you your cost of the item, what you have it priced at, what your GP is, so that if you wanted to make a change on the fly and you've agreed that you'll only charge them $17 for that item, it's going to automatically reflect that GP percentage and the change of that. If I wanted to go see any time I've ever sold the item to the customer and how much I sold it to them for and how many times I've sold it, I can see that in the item history right here. If I want to go do a real-time stock check with a wholesale vendor, it's going to be tied to the distribution centers that you are integrated with, and it'll show the real-time stocking position of the item that you have listed here. Since I'm in a demo environment, it's not hooked up, so there's nothing really to show here. But those two are very popular, being able to see the item history and to be able to see the real-time stock. As you're sitting there on the phone, you're going to be able to see, well, it looks like we've got quite a few of those in stock. We can get them to you next day. As you continue to build that order, maybe they say, hey, I need some Windex, but you're not sure, exactly which Windex is needed. You can either do a search here and hit a search right here, and it'll give you all of the options for Windex. You just simply select one, and it'll put that in there for you without even knowing the part number. So let's say they need 2 of those, and then maybe they say they need a couple of different versions of Windex. I can come here and hit the e-commerce search. Either instead of searching here, I can just come up here and do the e-commerce search, and that's going to be a lot more friendly from a look and feel. It's going to tell me, details about the item, pictures, so I can pick, okay, I think they were wanting this yellow one because of its, whatever reason may be. I can click on that, and it's going to put that item in the order for me. I just tell it how many I want and move on. If somebody wants something, again, we talked about pulling something for Costco. Somebody says, hey, can you buy me a refrigerator? Mine just broke. Certainly we can. I can come down here and say it's a miscellaneous item for the break room. Let's see, I'm going to get it from Costco. It's a fridge. Looks like I've already bought a fridge for somebody. My cost is $285. I'm going to sell it for $450. Is it taxable? We'll say no. Go ahead and hit save, and now that puts that miscellaneous item in on the order. Again, very easy to get items out on the order. So this is somebody that's faxing in an order, calling in an order, or emailing in an order. You'll come in here and do a quick order. Let's say you have somebody that wants a quote, that's looking to do business with you, but hey, here's a list of our 50 most common items that we buy. Can you give me a quote on these 50 items? You can go out and do this exact same thing, but in a quote format, and then send that to them straight out of the system. If they like what they see, with a click of a button, you can turn that quote into an order. So that's how you'll do it for the phone, fax, and email type. Let's go out and do some shopping. So I'm going to go and log in as a customer. So that's kind of a nice feature. You can log in as any one of your customers. I'm going to go log in as demo account here. This gives you the ability to see what your customers would see as they log in, but this will also allow me to do some shopping. So I'm going to log in as Ryan, who's an administrator, so I can show you some of those options. When I click on Ryan and log in, it's going to take me to this is not a very pretty template site, but it's a site that I can do some shopping on. So this is one of our templates. You pick the template, you pick the colors you want, put in your logo. There's a bunch of these different widgets. These banners come through from the wholesalers. Some of these little windows, marketing windows, come from the wholesaler. So it's usually stuff that you're selling, but you can turn these on or off if you want them or don't want them. Other features are like this message section. You can put on your Facebook and Twitter feed. You've got your message section right here. It's the one area of the template site that can be customized. So you can put anything you want in here, whether it's pictures or a PDF uploaded, or you can put, I've seen people put YouTube videos in here, different things like that. It's just open landscape for you to go to use. And this is whether it's a custom site or a template site, you have this messages widget you can turn on and use. But other widgets you can turn on are like the order manager, saved carts, recent orders. These are all things that you can turn on or off and move around. But that's about as much customization as you'll have on the template. It's very straightforward and simple. So depending on what your needs are, you can go with our digital services version where it's very custom to you, or one of our templates where, again, you manage this, you change the colors, you can update this anytime you want to in the designer on the Red Falcon system. And I'll show you that here in a second. But so most people are going to come here and they're going to do a search based on let's say a search term, so copy paper, or they may come in and type in a Staples part number, an Office Depot part number. Our system's smart enough to do the translation and turn it into the equivalent in your database. But you can come in here and type in the actual part number. I think it's that one for the Sharpie. Or you can do a search term, just a general search term. But most people come and do the search for product. So I'll just hit copy paper here, and it's going to return all the options for me. I've got a ton of ways to filter it. If I only want paper that's made in America, or I only want green, recycled paper, things like that, I can filter down to that. But you'll see I got a lot of items listed here. I think this might be an SP Richards back end. You'll see the Sparko stuff here, but it's going to give me my details based on my search term. I can do a comparison side by side and compare items next to each other to help me research. You'll see I've got my in stock and out of stock feature turned on. This is a couple of different levels. I can have it say just in stock or out of stock, or in this case, I've got it open wide up where I'm showing in stock and out of stock, but I'm also showing the real-time stocking position of the different distribution centers that I'm connected to. So you can turn this on all the way just in stock, out of stock, or you don't even have to have it. Those are options that you can control. But you can control what you're looking at, SKU A to Z, price high to low, things like that, how many results in each page. So from a user experience, it's very nice to navigate around. So I'm going to click into an item here, and you're able to see the rich content that we get with Red Falcon. So a bunch of different pictures that you can click on. You can hover over and see, get a closer look of the items. I've got, remember in the back end on the price group, I chose to have the also bots or also considered turned on. So I'm looking at this hammer mill paper, and it's feeding me other options that are similar to what I'm looking at. So people that bought this also bought some of these things. So again, another way to increase the spend of your customers, try to drive more revenue. As I scroll down, you're going to see on this item, beautiful looking content that automatically comes from the wholesaler. So you don't have to lift a finger on this. It just shows up and you look very professional, and your customers like what they see, and which makes it easy for them to come back and buy more. I can see product details. I can see similar items. I can read and write reviews. I can add line item notes. So if this is for this ream of paper that I'm getting is for Dan in accounting, I can type a line item note here, and that follows it all the way through to the invoice. So when this gets delivered, that line item is going to show it's for Dan in accounting. So it makes it nice for your customers to stay organized. I'm going to add a couple of those to the cart. Should pop up and give them the option to go to the cart now, or I can continue shopping. So I want to show you the favorites list. This is nice for those dealers that or customers that buy the same stuff all the time. Rather than needing to go search for it every time, they can save items as favorites. You can see it tags that as a favorite item, allows me to put it in a list and then manage my list. So let's say I hire somebody new. Every time I hire somebody new, I got to go get these 5 things for them. I need some paper, some Avery labels, some pens, some things like that. That way makes it easy to get in and get out, right? They're not having to search for the item and make sure they're finding the right thing. They just come to their favorites list and pull it off of there. So I can go and put it, I need a couple of those, and you can see it's popped up the accessory. Again, an option you can turn on or off. This, again, it's just trying to increase the spend of your customer, help them realize all that you can offer them. So because I'm getting these 5160s, it's saying, hey, you may also look at these 5660s and 5960s. Again, tries to drive more revenue to the customer. That's an option you can turn on or off. Contract items works the same way, but these are the items that we talked about where the school district gives you the list of the 20 items they want special pricing on. You can put them in a contract. It'll tag them here that they're a contract item, so they know they're buying the right thing. And again, they come to their contract items list, come see what's on here, and pick off the things that they want to have. So let's get some of these green Sharpies. And again, it's putting the accessories on here. Let's go do a search for, I'm going to go do a search for Laurel. I think it's 86200. Could be the other way. Yeah. So as I click on some of these chairs, you're going to see again the beautiful content that we get with Red Falcon, because we work so closely with these wholesalers. You'll see the site is really nice for the customer. So I'm looking at this black chair. Well, if I hover over these pictures down here, it's going to show me what it looks like with a different fabric color. I can even change the type of chair right here. So very simple and easy way to help my customer shop for the items they're looking for. Again, I'm looking at a chair, but the also bots are showing me, hey, what about the floor mat? And even what the stocking position on those things are. So very nice looking content. Again, as I go and do some research, I'm going to get everything that I'm looking for when it comes to that chair, even seeing it in action here. So that beautiful content automatically flows from the wholesaler. So let's say we're going to put one of those in the cart. Now I've got a few items in the cart. Let's go check out. I can either click here and check out, or I can just hit the cart and check out here. Again, depending on people's buying habits, a lot of people are going to do a search just because it's easier. They may go pull things off a list. You can also browse the product tree, right? To the customer doesn't know everything that you offer. They can go browse the product tree and see all of that you make available to them. Now, let's say you don't sell furniture. You're not going to have the furniture icon here. So if you're not involved, you're just selling, technology and office supplies, but you don't sell furniture, then you're not going to have a furniture button here. It's all dependent on the price, the products that you offer your customers. So I'm in the shopping cart here. As I look at it, because I'm logged in as Ryan, it knows who I am. It's going to date and timestamp my cart. So I can do all kinds of things. So I can send it to somebody, I can delete the cart, I can rename it, I can save it and come back to it. And again, even though I'm in the cart checking out, my also considereds are turned on. We're still shopping, we're still selling to the customer here, which is really nice. I can delete items out, I can add items, change quantities. I can, again, still read and write reviews. I can change what folder the item is in. I can add the item to a recurring order, which is nice. Kind of the auto ship, and I'll talk more about that here in a second. But even though I'm in the cart, I can still make a lot of changes and add notes and whatever I need to before I complete my order. If I know that I forgot something, and I don't know if I remember the part number here, but if I know the part, and I can put it right in the cart automatically. If I'm not sure what it is, and again, I go back to the Windex, I could hit Windex, hit search, and it'll help me go find what I'm looking for. So even though I'm in the shopping cart, I can still put items in if I know the part number or know a search term to use, which is really handy. It's going to be we're talking about the integration with the accounting systems, either QuickBooks or eAutomate. That is where Red Falcon gets the information for the tax information on how to tax the customer. So this is getting a feed from QuickBooks or eAutomate, and knows what taxing to charge because it's reading that from QuickBooks. So that will be there. That's one way the two systems integrate. If I have any coupon codes or any specials like that, this is where they'll show. This right here has a star by it. It's a required field that I can't move forward until I type something in here. So in this case, I just have my name, but this can be anything that you want. It's just a verification field. You can have it be a PO number, an email address, a name. It just requires the customer to type something in before you can move to the next screen. If there's any notes that go along with the order, like where, what timing to deliver or who gets what, I could type in those notes and add those to the order. Now it's taking me to the checkout section. I talked about Net1 at the beginning. That's our credit card payment processing partner. If you want to take credit cards on your Red Falcon website, you do have to use Net1. That is our one integration. But the great thing about that is they will beat your rates. They do level 3 processing, so no matter who you go after, what type of business, whether it's government or hospital system or universities that require that high level of scrutiny, Red Falcon can handle that and allow you to go after that business. So usually it's a win across the board. You're saving money. You can go after all the business, and then they give our customers excellent support because we send all of our business to them. So it's usually a win across the board. But if you want to take a credit card on the Red Falcon website, you do have to use Net1. In this case, I've got multiple options, and you can control. You can force things, right? Force them to pay on a credit card, force them to be billed later. You can do a split and let them do both. In my case, I'm just going to leave it on the account. But if I did choose credit card, we are a PADSS compliance system, which allows you to be PCI compliant. So that keeps you from, getting in trouble and having access to credit card numbers. You won't have that with Red Falcon. It's compliant in that case, which allows you to be compliant. So the customer could come here and actually save their credit cards on the site, and it'll be stored in the Net1 vault. So that makes it nice for the customer, but keeps that firewall between you and the credit card numbers, which is great. I'm going to leave it on the account here and just bill them later. I've got a budget turned on, which allows me to track that and spend on a budget. So I always know what I've spent and how much I have left to spend. If you're doing departments or cost centers you're tying spending to, this is where that drop down will appear, and you can pick what cost center you want to tie the spending to. I already talked about, we also have the ability to do approval levels. So again, the school district where the teacher can buy, but the principal needs to approve the order, and maybe the superintendent needs to approve what the principals are approving. That's a couple layers of approval. Red Falcon can handle up to 10 levels of approval. So if you got customers that have those approval chains that are needed, Red Falcon can do it very easily. All right, let's continue on and confirm the order here. So I talked about the recurring orders. That's like the auto ship type situation. Excellent for the customer. If it's they buy the same 20 things every single month, they don't have to come on here and go search around and figure out what it is. They could add, let's say these items here are things that I buy all the time, every 6 weeks. I could come here and add this entire order to a recurring order. I'm going to say yes, and I want it to come to me every 6 weeks. That means this order right here will show up in your back end to fulfill every 6 weeks, and obviously deliver to the customer every 6 weeks. So it's really nice, kind of auto ship. Creates an order for you that regularly comes in, makes it easy for the customer to not have to go and do the work. It just automatically shows up until they tell it either change the frequency, or they say, no, I don't want that order anymore. So it's really nice to be able to offer that to your customers. Okay, so as I scroll down, everything looks good, but if I needed to change a ship to or add any notes, this is where I could do that. So last time to confirm, everything looks great. I'm going to submit the order. So now it's going to push that order into the Red Falcon pending orders. It's going to give me a success. Your order number is here. In QuickBooks, this pushes into QuickBooks as the order number or the invoice number into QuickBooks, so it's really easy for tracking. If you're using eAutomate, obviously the orders are all going to flow into the eAutomate system. I can download a PDF of what I've just done, but I'm also going to get an email that says I successfully put an order through. Let me move my little banner here, and so now the order is in the system, and I can go on my way. But before we jump off the front end, I want to show you some of the options that the customer has from a self-service standpoint. So I just clicked on my account. So this is the end customer that in the case of Ryan is an administrator. So I can see all the orders of people that report to me. So in this case, Sarah is putting in an order. The teacher, principal, superintendent relationship, that type of thing. This is where that will flow. So these pending orders come in, they need my approval. So Sarah put in some orders. I can come in here and make edits to it and change it. I can delete it and say, no, I'm rejecting the order, or I can approve it. Then if somebody needs to approve what I'm approving, they'll get an email saying they need to approve an order. They click the link, come to the back end, and do the same thing that I just did. That's how the approval process works. Some of the wholesalers like SP Richards and Ascendant also push out tracking information for packages. If you want to turn that on for the customer, for the vendors that provide that, this is also where that will show up, so they can come and track their packages. Some of the other things they can do I think are really great is they can run their own order history report. So you might have somebody that says, oh, hey, I bought some lateral files from you 3-4 months ago. I forgot what they were and I need a couple more. you can send them straight to the website here. They can go do an order history report or an item history report, find that, and reorder it real quickly within the site. So if I come in here and I hit order history, I can go run that report. Let's do year to date and run that report. It's going to give me every time I purchased something in 2024. And let's say, okay, I want this order, everything on this order I need again. I can click on it right here and open it up and take a look at it, or I can just hit reorder right here and it pushes it all automatically into the checkout screen. Of course, if pricing has changed, it'll be at the updated pricing, but this just makes it really easy for the customer to go control and find the things that they're looking for without having to call you every 5 seconds and have you go look it up. You can send them to the site, run their own reports, and the more often you get them using the website, the more opportunity you have to sell to them. So order history, item history, they can check their own budget levels. The rewards program, I didn't talk much about that, but that's something that you can turn on. And you have the ability in the rewards program to essentially reward your customers for loyalty. So you can make certain items available for them to purchase, whether it's concert tickets or things like, in this case, batteries and CDs. You can determine what you're selling and what the value is, but they basically can cash in their points for certain things, kind of like your grocery card or frequent flyer miles type situation. They can earn points for every dollar they spend, and you can control that and who gets it, who has access to it and who doesn't. But that's another great feature. So if I go back to my account, again, they can run their own rewards history and see how many points they've used and what they've used them on and how many they have left and so on and so forth. The other really great thing that I love about the account setting for the customer is they can come on here and pay their invoices. Because of the relationship with Net1, all of their open invoices will be sitting here. You can drive them to the website to be able to pay their invoices. In this case, all I've got turned on is the credit card function, but we've also got the ability to do ACH payment through Net1. So you can send the customers to the site. They can pick, in this case, I don't have any invoices in here, but if I did, it would show all of the open invoices. I could pick on the ones that I wanted to pay and either pay with a credit card or ACH. Just simply hit pay invoices and it runs that just like if they were to buy something on the site. So that's a really neat feature, being able to send your customers to pay their invoices on the site. So that's the front end website and the shopping experience. Let's go check out log out and get to the back end, and we can finish the flow of that order. So we started with 305, now we've got 306. So every single order, whether it's come in over phone, fax, and email, and you put it through order entry, or it's come over the web, every order is going to flow to the pending orders screen. And in the pending orders, this is where all of you'll decide where you're purchasing and how you're going to move it to the wholesaler. So you're going to get this nice looking view where you can search by any of these headers. If you're looking for orders from a specific company or on a specific day or by a certain sales rep, you can do those type of searches. But basically, to get an order from a wholesaler or from your Red Falcon system to a wholesaler like Ascendant or SP Richards, you simply have to accept the orders and export the orders. Literally 2 buttons to click, out the door they go, and into the system, to the wholesaler system they go. Within seconds, you'll get acknowledgement back, and off you go. So if I go back to the pending orders, again, all you're doing, you can select all and then accept, or you can accept individual orders. Just depending on what you're looking to do, you have the ability to mass select or just select specific orders that you want and then export them. Once you've selected them, then they go into the accepted orders bucket. Then when you've exported, out the door they go. Then if we follow the flow of the order processing here, we've exported to the wholesalers. Now we're going to get the transmitted order. This is the acknowledgement that comes back from the wholesalers. They're going to tell you that the order is complete and ready to go, or something's on back order. You'll know that right away so that you can make any adjustments that you need to. And then from there, the process is simple. If you're doing your own local delivery or shipping, you can print your packing slips and shipping labels. Or if you're doing all drop ship, then the next step would be to finalize the order and then push it out through for the accounting side. So before we get there, I wanted to go back to the pending orders and show you what it looks like to dig into an order. So if I go and I want to search by date and time, I can flip it upside down. We can do the one that we just put through. I can click on that. And actually, before I do that, let me go back. So as you're looking at these orders, you're going to get a glimpse, a quick glance at the important information about the order. So what day did it come in? What's the subtotal? What's the GP? How did the order originate? Was it Outpost is the website, but you got a recurring order. You might have a quick order. You'll know how the order was originated. So you'll know which ones came off the web or out of the order entry. You're also going to see if there's any items that have special information, or if there's, in this case, it's showing that there's items that we have in stock that are on the order. You'll see at a glance a lot of information about these orders. So you can make any adjustments that you need to based on that. As I click on an order and drill in, it's going to give you the details of everything on the order, the quantity, the GP, all the details. So you have the ability to make changes even though the order has been submitted. If I wanted to change a GP, looks like I'm making 72% GP here. I could lower the price and even after the fact, or I could change quantity. Maybe the customer called and said, "Hey, I just put an order through and the hammer mill paper, I meant to get 5, but I accidentally hit 2." So I could come in here and update the quantity and push it through to the wholesaler at 5. Now you'll see the line item note that we put in there. You'll see that I have the ability to attach it to a specific PO if I wanted to, this specific line item. But you'll also notice down here at the bottom, any wholesaler that sells this product, I'm seeing what my cost is here. So it looks like it's defaulting to SP Richards, but let's say Ascendant was much cheaper. The click a radio button, now I can move this item to a different PO and have it sent out to Ascendant. In this case, it's not. SP looks like it's much cheaper, but it's that easy to move an item to a different PO depending on, however I decide. Most people are going to, buy from their first call vendor because of rebates and different things like that. But if you did want to do some shopping and like maybe somebody puts in a big order of ink or toner or something like that, and you want to make sure you're getting it from the best source, you can come in here and see where you can get that from and what your cost would be, and make sure you're getting it from the best source. So in this case, looks like I'm going to have a PO go out to SP. I'm going to have one go to Ascendant. And if there were others, it's going to split those apart and send those out electronically. So you may not get into every single order because, again, it's going to your first call vendor and everything, looks good and you don't have to mess with it. But if you did want to get in and take a look or make changes, you can do that on each individual order. Down here at the bottom, you're going to see the route code is listed. This shows or tells the wholesaler how I want the specific order handled. So let's say I want it shipped back to me, wrap and label, or I want them to send it straight to the customer through drop ship. So I can determine how I want the wholesaler to act when they get the order right here from the route code. So let's say everything looked good. I didn't need to add anything, or maybe in this case, I wanted to override and add some freight. Any changes that I make, I just come down here and update the order and then accept. That's going to put it in the accept bucket and be ready to export. So that's how you would manage on an individual order. Again, you don't have to do it that way. You can accept them all by customer. You can accept them all by date or by sales person. It just depends on how you want it. You can come and just simply pick them off the list and say, I want to accept these, right? And it's going to take that action. But once they've been accepted, then they're going to be exported and out the door they go. Then down here to the accounting, this is where I want to talk about the integration. So I'll talk in two parts. To QuickBooks, the way the QuickBooks integration works is QuickBooks eAutomate essentially would be the master database from the customer standpoint, and all of the accounting data will flow into QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is going to push into Red Falcon the tax information for the customers and the inventory levels. QuickBooks would be the inventory solution for Red Falcon dealers that carry stock, and it's going to read that inventory level from QuickBooks, so Red Falcon knows what you have in stock based on what it sees in your QuickBooks file. The way it does that is through synchronization. So the QuickBooks synchronization runs automatically on a timer through web services, and it can run every 20 minutes, every hour, 3 times a day. However often you want it to synchronize, it will do that. And basically what it's doing is it's pushing to Red Falcon all the tax information and inventory levels, and then it's pushing from Red Falcon into QuickBooks all that order detail, and wholesaler invoices will flow. So if I go do a search here for wholesaler invoices, I can run this, and as the wholesalers are sending me invoices for product I'm purchasing because they want to get paid, those will automatically flow through to Red Falcon and match up against the purchase orders that were sent, to make sure that the wholesaler is charging you properly. So you can set a range. Let's say you want it to match to the penny. As that wholesaler invoice comes in, it's going to be looking at the PO expecting to be exactly the right amount. And if it comes in and it's off, even by a penny, it's going to flag that wholesaler invoice for you to go take a look at. But let's say 3 or 4 invoices come in and they all look good, they're all matching the POs, then it's going to push in the next synchronization to QuickBooks, and update QuickBooks knowing that the wholesaler invoice is correct, so that when it gets to QuickBooks, you can cut a check to the wholesaler knowing you've been properly charged. For the ones that it kicks out because there's errors or doesn't match up to the parameter you've set, then all you have to do is manage those exceptions instead of looking line by line through every wholesaler invoice, or just trusting what the wholesaler is saying and doing. The system will do that check and make sure that you're being charged properly. So that's another automation, and reason why Red Falcon is so good is because it's doing a lot of that work. So that's how the QuickBooks integration works with Red Falcon. Again, pushing tax information and inventory levels from QuickBooks into Red Falcon, and then from Red Falcon to QuickBooks, it's pushing in the sales order, the wholesaler invoices, and updates QuickBooks there. Now, you can invoice out of either system. You can invoice out of Red Falcon, which is very simple to do. It's very basic invoice, but it's really easy. You just go run the invoices and email them straight out of the system. If you want a more customized look and feel, QuickBooks has more options for you as far as what the invoice looks like. And so if you wanted to have colors and watermarks and boxes drawn around and a more fancy invoice, QuickBooks probably has more options there. But we are working on Red Falcon to have its own ability to customize the look and feel of things. That is hopefully coming in 2025 first quarter. So there is that. So now eAutomate, anybody that's using eAutomate for their accounting system, it works similar, except for it's a little bit reversed, where eAutomate is the master database and all of the customers are housed in eAutomate. And so what eAutomate would do, when you come to the accounting and synchronize, essentially, you do an initial sync and bring over all of the customers out of eAutomate and populate Red Falcon with those customers. It's also going to push from eAutomate to Red Falcon the tax information and the inventory levels. eAutomate would be the inventory module for Red Falcon for those eAutomate dealers. Then when it's coming back, the synchronization is actually a manual process. There's a button you'll click into the accounting, export to the there's a button that says export. In this case, this is a QuickBooks integration here, so it's not showing, but the button you would click is export orders, and that synchronizes eAutomate and Red Falcon. It's again going to be pushing in, it's going to create a sales order, open a PO in eAutomate, and you finish it out in eAutomate. So essentially allows eAutomate dealers to do most everything in eAutomate except for the e-commerce experience, and the purchasing would be done in Red Falcon. Now, if you're using PO Processor, that does allow you to do your purchasing out of eAutomate if you would rather do that. And if that's the case, we can certainly dig in and take a closer look and help you understand which makes the most sense. But either way, whether you're using QuickBooks or eAutomate, that is how those two systems synchronize and pushing and pulling data between the two. So that in a nutshell is the Red Falcon system. The other thing that will come as a part of the system is the Accelerate CRM and Analytics module. That's kind of a whole nother demo in itself, but it's more of like those embedded dashboards from the start of the demonstration. You also have the ability to run on the website those Accelerate trend reports, variance reports, and be able to customize more, kind of slice and dice the data the way you want, and even export those out to the Excel to manipulate further. There's also a business review that allows you to run to show the customer how you're helping them, how you're saving them money, and it's a beautiful report that shows your value as a dealer, and also uncovers categories that you might not be providing for that customer to help drive additional sales. So with Red Falcon, that and the either QuickBooks or eAutomate's a complete ERP, allows the dealer to have a front end website, integration with partners, integration with their accounting system, the ability to manage what the experience is on the web, the ability to handle those orders as they come in and getting them out to wholesalers or pulling them out of stock. Whatever needs to happen, you're able to do that with the Red Falcon system. So hopefully this demonstration is giving you kind of a great overview of how the process works. The other thing I would mention is about the training. We're going to set you up with a one-on-one trainer that will work with you from start to finish, whether you're eAutomate or QuickBooks. They'll train you very hands-on on how to use the system and how to get things set up, and they'll work with you through that process until you're live on the system. And then you're shifted, once you've kind of graduated that training program, you're kind of shifted to the support team, which is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time. All things Red Falcon would run through support, and you'll be able to get the help that you need. For those few of you that may still have a retail location, there's also a POS app within the system that you can turn on and run. So any scenario that we need to help you with, please let us know. But hopefully this gives you a real good idea of what Red Falcon can do for you, and let us know how we can help you. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.